been happening all over the world in today. A lot of deals have been done. A lot of people have signed new contracts. Some people we didn't even know that they were actually on the verge of signing a contract. They've actually signed contracts. So there's just a lot of things to cover, but the interesting ones, like the breaking news one, is the Koulibaly deal that he has actually been given a deadline that actually the team has to complete. If Manchester City are still interested in him, they need to actually to get the deal done before a certain period of time that has been set by Napoli, as well as the Paris Saint-Germain, because it seems like PSG are also interested in the defender. So after losing Thiago Silva, right, it's Thiago Silva joined the PSG, joined Chelsea, who's gonna be playing maybe next week. He didn't play yesterday, so PSG also are thinking of bringing Koulibaly at the same time. Manchester City, he has been the club that has been the front runner for his signature since the beginning of transfer window, even though they were deflected with the Messi issue and incident. So there are a lot of things that are happening today. Also, we have the information about what is happening at Barcelona with Messi. There's some contract, something that they need to sort out in terms of Barcelona. They need to do with Messi. I'll talk about it as well and give you information about it. And there's actually some news for the first time after such a long time in the Thiago Alcantara situation with Liverpool and Manchester United. Remember that the teams that are actually interested in getting the player. At the same time, there are other news that are happening. Let me just say worldwide, a lot of new things are happening. So also, before I go anywhere far, please guys, do us a favor, click the like button, click the subscribe button if you are enjoying this, and don't forget to share this on your social media. Like I always tell you, please do that. Share this on your social media. It helps us a lot. So we want to talk about other news. So later on, around 5 o'clock my time, there's already a reminder on the page. I'm gonna talk about the game of Chelsea. There were some interesting comments that I've been going through head and forth with some of the people in the Terrence, like Football Terrace page, the one that is like the one of Terrence. You can actually check it out too. There were some interesting things that we were talking about there. And the way the Chelsea panel were actually excited about the Liverpool game, how they're gonna be dominating according to how their teams performed yesterday against Brighton. A lot of people watched the game. They won by 3 goals to 1. So I didn't say anything like straightforward, like I promised that I was gonna say something. So I actually said I was gonna save it for today so that we can move on from it as we prepare to build up for game 2. And so let me not focus on that. Let's go back in the transfer news. Remember, that's the reason why we're here. So, like I'm saying, the breaking news is coming from where? Is it the breaking news or what? It's just the news. The rumor that we're getting is coming from. Let me change my screen so that you can see the information. So, the news is coming from Napoli, if I may say. They're saying that Manchester City or PSG do not, if Manchester City or PSG do not complete a deal for Kalidou Koulibaly by the weekend, Napoli are expected to take the 29-year-old off the market. That is from Football Italy, the source. So interesting news, interesting news. Remember, we know that for the deal of Koulibaly and Manchester City to be done, there have to be actually some agreements between the teams, because unfortunately Manchester United City are still angry that Napoli gave PSG, Napoli gave, it's actually Chelsea, right? They gave Chelsea the player that Manchester City wanted in Jorginho. So there's still some bad blood in that situation. It seems like United are really angry. That City are really angry. Why am I saying United? Oh my God, City are really angry in terms of that situation. So that's one thing that is slowing this thing down. At the same time, City are looking elsewhere for to sign a player, because one thing that Manchester City knows in this case is that it seems like, or it looks like, Napoli are keen on the move of this 29-year-old Koulibaly, because they know that if he goes to next season, his price tag is gradually going to drop because of his performance. Because we all know, and we've been seeing this, that his performance is going down like Virgil van Dijk performance. that's for another story. I don't want to start some crazy stuff here. So that is the situation that is happening here. So it means like City, they're not really interested. We actually read some information in terms of transfers yesterday that City actually had a bid rejected by Atletico Madrid for another mid, like another defender from another club. So you see that City are really not really as much as they want the player as people are expecting. But as for PSG, we know nothing about. But we actually had some interesting news. Is it yesterday or the day before yesterday? I have no idea how I missed this, but I actually saw it in One Football. I think you know the One Football news that they give each and every day. That PSG, they were beaten for the second time. Like they lost the first game 1-0 and they lost the second game 1-0. And in the second game there were actually 5 players were sent off. I think that means they got red cards. 5 players got red cards, including Neymar, which is just crazy. I think now this actually explains the reason why Bampe was really keen on leaving the club, because of how these guys were fired and whatever because of how the team is behaving in terms of the dressing room and how they are performing in the performance. So it's something that is affecting a lot of things. We have to wait and see on the developments. We have to see what happens on that. We have to see on the developments of the case and see how we can see how the movement is going to happen. But now this makes sense for any fan who was wondering why is that Mbappe wants to leave PSG. Now I think you've got your answers figured out. PSG are no longer the same team after their defeat in the, was it first in the cup, like the cup, not exactly the league and cup. I'm talking about the first, like a domestic cup that they lost. At the same time in the Champions League against Bayern Munich, it seems like it affected them a lot. So we have no idea how that is going to develop. We'll keep you involved. We'll keep you updated with whatever that happens during the week. Remember, end of the week, which is maybe Sunday next week, Sunday this week that we are in now. That's when we find out what happens here. But we just keep looking at the issue. And did you think City will sign the player? Definitely, I thought they would, but now with the way things are looking like, I don't think that will actually happen, because the City seems like they are out there to actually punish Napoli in a way. We will have to wait and see what happens in the development of the story. But elsewhere, before we move on, I want to cover the other breaking news that we had. Is it a breaking news? But it's actually another update that we got, which is coming from the agents of Gareth Bale. They're saying that Gareth Bale has changed his state on Real Madrid's future and now wants to leave the club. Although the Welshman have been content to be a substitute under Zinedine Zidane, he has now decided he wants to play more often. So if you have been keeping stories about the Gareth Bale incident and whatever that is happening in terms of him and stuff like that, we have always known that the player had actually said, remember Tottenham were interested in him earlier on in the transfer round that we've been in. There are some videos that I did about it. You can check them out in the channel if you want to know the issue. So looking at from then to now, the first time Gareth Bale was not interested in leaving Real Madrid, he actually wanted to eat money while seated, because everyone, like let me just say, all of us, we all know that Gareth Bale is one of the most paid player in Real Madrid or in the world of football. So he was gonna be paid more money while just sitting down. But now, in terms of since he came from the Welsh camp when he was playing with Welsh, I think maybe some people talked to him and gave him some advice in terms of his career and where he wanted to see himself in the next coming years. So they gave him some advice, and he actually came out on Sky Sports saying that his future is actually attached with the Real Madrid. They're the ones who are doing this. He actually said a lot of things just attacking Real Madrid in terms of how they've been treating the player, in terms of how he wanted to live and how they're disturbing his move away from the club. But now it's coming out to reports that he now wants to leave the club. Now the question comes like this, because now we know that United won't be getting Jadon Sancho, and we've been told that they're interested in signing either him, Gareth Bale, Ivan Perisic, and who's the other one? Douglas Costa from Juventus. So we now wonder what is going to happen. we are now looking at this case and wondering how is this gonna be sorted out? Like, where is the way out? How is this gonna be sorted out? That's the question that is in each and everyone's heads right now as we speak. It's gonna be interesting to see how the development of this story goes. But we'll keep you updated with any interesting news that moves on in this issue, guys. We'll keep you updated. At the same time, where do you feel like you will actually suit and you actually fit so well that you get regular time in terms of the teams that are interested in him? Because what I know is that the teams that were interested in him, or the right now it's Manchester United, the front runner, I think, but the teams that were interested in him was Manchester United and Tottenham. Remember, Tottenham needs somebody who can actually replace Harry Kane after that disaster that he performed against against Everton in the first game. We will have to wait and see on the developments of how this case actually changes, guys. But that's the information that we have for the moment, guys. We'll keep you updated on whatever that changes in terms of Gareth Bale and where he'll be playing next. So please, guys, don't forget to click subscribe, don't forget to like this video, and don't forget to share on your social media. So let's go back now. I want to go back in some stories that were touched before this issue where we are in. So I'm gonna start maybe with Dubai. I think Dubai I did cover it yesterday or 6 hours ago. Is it? Oh, that's 16 hours. So 6 hours ago, Barcelona saying that Barcelona are set to sign Memphis Depay from Lyon for 30 million euro. He has already agreed personal terms on a 4-year contract. Michael Vanish. So it's coming from Mike. I don't know who Mike is as such, but I'll check him out. So that's the issue we have in Barcelona. They really want Vidal, they really want Depay, and it seems like it's happening. They had other players that they were interested in him. In also Mohamed Salah coming out just a few days ago that they were interested in him. So this is how the issue is like at the moment. We have to keep looking at the issue and the development of the story. But at the moment, that's what we are being told, guys. So let me hear your thoughts and your comments. How do you see this story like wrapping up? Like, how do you see this story coming to an end? Because at the moment we really don't know who Barcelona really wants and where they are going exactly as a club, because it's still really confusing for me as such. That's what I'm saying. It's really still confusing. So earlier on today, there are some stories that came out, football stories as usual, as we always do. So there are some stories that came out. Let me, oh sorry, that changed some information for you guys, and you were seeing some of the things that that just okay. Let's move on. There are some stories that came out which was coming from also Barcelona 6 hours ago. Let me read this as well. They're saying that FC Barcelona and Inter Milan have already agreed the transfer of Arturo Vidal for just 500 euro bonuses plus a set. Barca are set to pay Vidal part of the salary of the final year of his contract. The challenge will travel to Milan today. That was 6 hours ago. They believe in that Vidal and Inter Milan is something that is actually going to happen, guys. So we don't really know as much as it is going in terms of the development of the story, but we'll keep you updated with the changes that happens, guys. But at the moment, like we are letting you know, Vidal will be an Inter Milan player as soon as these things is complete. So let's see what exactly Conte has in plan for the player, because I'm always like curious to find out what the manager, like whatever that he's going to do to the players. Because remember, he signed Lukaku, he brought Alex Sanchez and a lot of people, and they were really close to challenge for the Serie A, but during the way they lost focus and they just dropped for no reason. So now we are just curious to find out how this development will actually go, and what is going to happen in terms of what we are expecting, like literally expecting from the club, if we could speak. So we have to wait and see on the development of the story, guys. Like I always do, I'll keep you updated with every development that happens. So don't forget to subscribe, guys. Please don't forget to like this video, and don't forget to share it if you to invite other people. But Let's see what happens. Let me see something that I'm. It's gonna be interesting to see how this thing goes. We'll be actually interested to see how this issue goes. But let's move on to other issue, guys, because we have a lot of stories to cover. Let me see what's next here. So there's some development, guys. Now, for such a long time, we're actually happy that we have some developments from. Oh my God, I'm just messing out here, messing up some stuff here. But I think it's now back to. Let's move on. Let me put my screen also so that you see whatever I'm showing you this side. So there are some developments, like I'm saying. Please don't forget to click subscribe. There are some developments in terms of the Thiago Alcantara situation. Liverpool will wait until the final week of the transfer window to make an official move for Bayern Munich's midfielder Thiago Alcantara. The source of this story is TalkSports. Okay, interesting. Klopp, who hasn't got a replacement for released Adam Lallana centre back and stuff like that, and I don't turn on Thiago time. I wish it will shock him this season. Let's see. Okay, I was just reading some of the comments that were there. So let me go back here so that I try to explain this, guys. So as a Liverpool fans, you kind of like get tired in terms of the stories. Keep talking about the same story for such a long time, and you're still not seeing progress. It actually kind of affects us in a way. But let's cover this information. So Thiago Alcantara said it from the beginning of this, since the last season ended. He was on the verge of signing a contract with Bayern. Then he said, "No, I don't want. I want new." He was interested in new challenge, and his new challenge, where he wanted to be next, was in the Premier League, and he wanted to be playing for Jurgen Klopp. That was made so clear in the beginning of the transfer that he wanted to go after Jurgen Klopp. Development of the story, as we kept moving on the story, there were some things that came out also in Pep Guardiola joining in on the rest, because Liverpool were linked with the player from the beginning. In a way, if we talk of just like honest, like just being honest as Liverpool fans, like as I am as a Liverpool fan and other Liverpool fans, we can actually agree that this in our heads, it's like the Thiago issue, it's like the Timo Werner issue. It is repeating again year after year that we find ourselves linked with this type of players who can come and improve. Like, let me just focus more on like Naby Fekir, because he was also a creating midfielder like what Thiago can offer, so it's almost likely. So we were linked with Naby Fekir, and something we actually knew that with that one, it actually was something that was about to materialize. Then from nowhere the deal broke down, and we were all left just hopeless, wondering what was happening. So it's really confusing how this issue will go and how it will develop, because it makes me wonder, where are we going as a club? Like, did you see our performance against Leeds? Yes. This is where I like the Kopish guys. I was listening to Drifty and the guys when they were talking late. I actually watched it. It was no longer live like when it was released. I watched it as like a rewatch. We need to sign players if we want to challenge for this. And they were saying the truth, and they were attacking FSG in a way that I actually agree with some of the things I was saying, because it actually makes sense. You get worried with how we are doing business, because we know that in terms of Timo Werner, Klopp really wanted him, and FSG were the people who let Liverpool down again, as they've always been doing. Now we are here stuck in this situation of Thiago Alcantara, a player who really wants to come. And there were some times when we were told United were close to reaching the deal they'd already reached a deal with Bayern Munich, but the wages that like Thiago had asked was just crazy. I remember being mentioned on Football Terrace, and we actually covered the information. And Terence actually talked about the issue, saying that if we are gonna be signing somebody who's not interested in coming to us but wants to do it for the money, then it cannot work, because Thiago, his dream move is actually coming to Liverpool. Now we have Liverpool here. That's in the run of money, but we haven't signed anybody for the past 2 seasons, which I agree, which was actually mentioned by one of the panelists on Football Terrace yesterday, who was an Arsenal fan. I don't remember his name, who said that Liverpool needs to shake up a little bit. They've been achieving great as a club, but they need to shake up, at least buy some players to actually develop, which 100% makes sense. That if we don't do that, this season is going to be a scary one. So now Liverpool are saying that they want to see in the last time of the transfer window, like we, according to Liverpool, they feel like they're the club that they feel like they still have the upper hand in this case. Like if you don't sign Thiago, we are gonna be in trouble. And I haven't heard of any person who plays in the midfielder and creative we have been linked of rather than Thiago. So if we don't sign him, then there's no one who's coming to replace the late Ladam Lallana, who left in the Liverpool midfield role. I don't know. That's what I'm seeing. At the same time, we need a striker, something that I'm not seeing happening as well. We've been linked with Saha and Daka, just a lot of players. We haven't seen any movement. That's what is frustrating me a lot. This season is going to be interesting, especially if we don't sign anybody. We just signed Konstantina Tsimikas, and he's actually a backup for Andy Robertson. So you wonder what's going to happen for us next season. It's just a scary story to actually even think about it. So let's see. I don't want to keep talking about it unless it happens. That's what I'm just going to say. It's one of those that you just have to wait and just see what happens. I have to actually listen to what Infield Agenda was saying about something like that. I didn't really listen to the podcast, but I always do listen to hear what other news that are happening in terms of Liverpool. But we have to wait and see what happens. But that's what they're saying, that they're going to wait until end of the transfer window, because they feel like if it goes to next season, then Bayern Munich have no reason but just to release him for free, which is going to affect them a lot. They want to make at least some money out of this player. So the money that Liverpool are holding, which Bayern is not accepting, we have to wait and see what happens. I just hope that this deal gets done sooner and fast. Also, at the same time, let's not forget that United are still in this deal. And as for United, there's not enough information that has been released to actually explain what is happening, except from the Bayern Munich side, where they are really trying to push on the deal for Thiago to actually happen. So we have to wait to see and what happens, because it's really crazy how this story keeps on progressing, keep on going without actually reaching a solid touch or something that actually makes sense for change. So we have to wait and see what happens, guys. But that's the issue and the story we have for you right now. So let's move on to other news. Like I told you, there are a lot of news that we have to cover today. So I think the next news is coming from Real Madrid as well. So this was later than the breaking news that I was saying, which was said that Manchester United are ready to offer Real Madrid's Gareth Bale a short-term deal with an initial season-long loan after losing patience in their effort to sign Jadon Sancho. The Welshman would have to take pay cut if he wants to join United, though. Sun Sports reports 6 hours ago. We have to wait and see on the development of that story. At the same time, Lucas Torreira is set to leave Arsenal and join Torino on a season-long loan with an obligation to buy for 12 million euro. Total Sports is what is reporting this issue. So that's the information we have now, guys. That's saying that Lucas Torreira is going on loan. So good luck to him, because of course game time was going to be hard, especially with where Arsenal are playing here. If you watch the game, they are playing so well, and I hope that it actually continues to the big games. Remember, they were playing against a newly promoted club, like what Liverpool were doing, but Liverpool didn't live up to what we expected as the Liverpool fan. I don't want to lie to you. The Liverpool game was one of the toughest games I've ever had to go through watching as a fan. It was just crazy, but we'll wait and see what happens. Manchester United fear increased competition from Real Madrid, Barcelona and Liverpool for Jadon Sancho next summer if they cannot praise him away from Dortmund in this transfer window. That's ESPN. So of course, Jordan Sancho is one of the is an amazing player. We all agree. I don't think there's anyone in this world or anyone around this one who actually who's a fan of football who disagree that the youngster has talent and he's one of the most wanted player if he does what he did for like Borussia Dortmund last season, this season, and actually does more. Because right now, yesterday we heard that he actually scored some goals and some assists in the game that he played. I don't know because I didn't actually watch the game and I'm not keeping exactly in terms of whatever that is happening. So United were the front runners this season, and the next season they're gonna be facing competition from big clubs. Like for example, we are talking of Barcelona, Real Madrid, at the same time Liverpool. In terms of Liverpool, I'm not yet really sure, but they're just the rumors we are hearing. I don't know where the speculations are coming from that Liverpool are interested, because as much as we are interested, paying a lot of money for players that is above 100, it has been something that has never been done by Liverpool. But if it happens, I'm happy. I can't deny that I'll be happy, but I don't see this happening for Liverpool. So let me just say the competition that Team United will have to face, it's actually from Real Madrid and Barcelona. I don't know what you think. Let me hear your thoughts in the comments below. Because sometimes we have to face facts and actually accept that the things that we want can never really happen in terms of because of the management we have as Liverpool Football Club. So let's just take whatever we have and move on. So let me see on the other news that is coming. Like I was saying in the beginning of the start, like when I started this video, there's some interesting news coming from Barcelona. They're saying that FC Barcelona playmaker Lionel Messi will be asked by the club president Josep Maria Butau to take a salary cut. That is what they're saying now. So after Messi trying to leave the club, after really trying, everyone can agree with me, after really trying to leave the club, and the club saying no, they're not letting the player leave, and they actually came to a point where they were saying that we go to the court, and the player is the one who dropped out of all those things because he said that he loves the club a lot and he won't be going to court with the club in this case, and he's gonna have to wait and see what happens in terms of the development of the issue and the stories. Now we come to this situation where how do I put this? We come to a point where the player has actually decided that he will stay. At the same time, he has actually said that even though it's not what he wants to do, he will stay. Barcelona, they're thinking of adding more salt to the wound that has already been opened by telling the player that because you want to leave, you are going to leave us next summer, you have to take and you asked to leave this summer, our punishment to you is to cut your pay cut. We are going to cut your payment by a little bit of how much money they'll be asking for. So I don't know. I want to hear from you guys. How do you see this issue? How do you see this issue concluding according to you? Do you think Barcelona are being fair just only as a regular football, like you are a fan and you just love football? Do you think that if your club is doing this to one of your legends who brought a lot of amount of trophies, who won you a lot of games, you treat him this way, you force him to stay in the club where you had actually given him a way to leave the club, but now you are forcing him to stay? At the same time, when you force him to stay, you are actually asking him to actually cut his payments. How do you feel as a fan, and how do you live through that? And what can you say for your club if they're doing such things like that? It's just really crazy. It doesn't make sense. So I want to hear your thoughts and your comments down in the comments below. Please do that. It's going to be interesting to find out what your thoughts are. Let me move on to the next issue. Okay, West Ham United are ready to offer Arsenal £5 million loan fee to seal a deal for centre-back Rob Holding. Wow, that is big. So West Ham not signing a lot of people but letting a lot of people go. Oh, you didn't see the story. Let me put this in the screen there. So after them not signing anybody but letting people go, they were beaten by Newcastle by what was the goal, right? Is it 2-0? think it was 2-0 if I remember. It was 2-0, yes. So after being beaten 2-0, now they are talking to Arsenal to get one of the players who was in the starting lineup against Fulham, and I have to say he was amazing. He played literally so well. And they said that they want to take him on loan. I don't think this is something that can happen. I don't see this happening. I don't think Liverpool. I don't think Arsenal are gonna let Holding go after the performance he gave for the club. It's gonna be interesting to see the development of the story and how this is gonna actually move on. But I don't see this happening. But I wanna hear your thoughts and your comments, Arsenal fans. Do you think this is something that you can actually let happen, or your people can actually let happen? Because I also heard that Arsenal are thinking of letting people go so that they can free up some space for some money to go get Thomas Partey, which is still something that is just so quiet, which I don't even know what's happening. But at the same time, if you lose one of the players who are so well in the game against Fulham, which for me I think William was the best player in the game, go, would that actually benefit you in any way, like in terms of how you see yourself and where we are going? I don't know. It's just my thoughts and what I'm thinking in this case. But we'll wait and see on the developments of the issue. You tell me, guys, how you feel on the comments below. Okay, Atletico Madrid will pay £25 million to sign Yamink Carrasco on a permanent deal. The source is the goal. I don't know where they're paying him from, so we have to wait and see on the developments. So yesterday, Chelsea had an interesting game, which had a lot of interesting talking points, which I'm gonna cover today later around 5 o'clock. Let me check time. I think around 1 hour or 2 hours from now. Let me say 1 hour 30 minutes from now, which I'm gonna cover a lot and try to explain what happened in terms of how I saw it, and I wanna hear your thoughts and view. And also again to remind you, I'll be opening some Skype calls so that I can actually hear you guys, whatever you wanna say on that story. So they're saying that there's some really interesting news that are coming out, that also, as well as they've signed a lot of players, and we know that some of the players won't be available because of injury. We've told about Kim Ziyech, who was actually injured, that's why he didn't show up, and other players yet to actually debut for the team. Chelsea Football Club's Hudson-Odoi is wanted by Bayern Munich, Juventus, and RB Leipzig on loan, Sky Sports report. So because of Odoi not getting game time, and I have to say Ruben Loftus-Cheek didn't look so good, why didn't he? Even Mason Mount wasn't really good, why didn't they put Odoi as well? So this is the case we are being told, guys, that there are other people who are actually interested in him. And for example, Bayern Munich, Juventus, and Leipzig, they want him on loan, and I think they're going to actually ask with an option to buy. I want to hear your thoughts and how you see this issue going, and how you would actually like it to go. I want to hear it especially from the Chelsea fans. Let me hear from you guys. Do you want to lose Odoi, a youngster who was really looking so promising for you guys? And I know that if he goes do well for Bayern, they might actually want to sign him on a permanent basis, and also other teams like Atletico Madrid or RB Leipzig and Juventus. They just wants to sign everybody, so I won't actually advise for him to go there. So done deal, Gary Lineker agreed a 5-year contract with a 23% reduction in pay to the remaining of Mitch remaining as Mitch of the day presenter until 2025. So that's interesting. He had to sign a new contract after actually disagreeing on things that are happening. What's happening here? Why are people making fun of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he's saying Zebra United? Oh, that's interesting. What can you say about that, United fans? I think it's poking the bear, right? Let's see. Oh, done deal. Jack Grealish has signed a 5-year deal contract at Aston Villa, keeping him at the club until 2025. So my question to a lot of people is this: why would he sign a contract when he was linked with the record signing to move to Manchester United, and there were actually other clubs who were interested in him? Why would he sign a 5-year contract with the Aston Villa? Maybe I heard something that was said in Sky Sports today, that maybe it's something that was triggered by him playing his first cap for England. So it seems like there was also a trigger in his contract that if he plays a first cap for England, he will sign a new contract. Maybe that's the reason why he's doing all these things, but I don't really understand, guys. But we have to wait and see what happens in the developments. So there are a lot of things that are happening, guys. Like for example, Sheffield and Crystal Palace have been both held. They've both held talks with Liverpool over a deal for Ryan Brewster, but Liverpool have yet to decide whether the 20-year-old will be allowed to live in this window. Interesting news there. Interesting news. Your comments, Liverpool fans. It seems like Brewster might be leaving you. A lot of clubs are interested in him. Whatever that happens, we were told, is it? A few weeks back with some crazy interesting story to people talking about how we are gonna sell him, actually like sell him, which was crazy. I would actually accept him if he goes on loan rather than selling him, because I feel like he's gonna be the next Luis Suarez for the club, or maybe Mohamed Salah, because I have to agree the player is just so good in terms of him first with the goal. Marino Pjanic has been unveiled to the media after his move to Barcelona. He will wear the jersey number 8, which, if I believe so well, it was the jersey that was worn by the club legend and the former captain of Barcelona, Iniesta. So we have to wait and see on the developments of the case, guys, and we'll keep telling you what happens. But that's the story we are being told right now, guys, and it looks like that will be the last end of the last information that I have for you. Let me see if there's everything, and I think that's it. So let me wait. I'm really being disturbed at this side, guys. So let me just finish up here so that we see what happens here. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I feel like there's nothing more to talk about. I need to now cut this so that I prepare for the next show that is coming around 5 o'clock, where I'll be talking about Chelsea, and I think around 10 o'clock I'll be setting another reminder so that we can cover about the transfer news, so that we can talk about the team of the week, the game of the week, and also the player of the week, according to how we've seen everything going. The Football Connect will do all those things for you today around 10. So please be sure that you will be available for that one, and please don't forget to click subscribe and like and share this video to other contact or to other social medias platforms you have. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope to see you very soon. This has been Sam, and this has been the Football Connect, talking your daily transfer news. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll meet again on another video.